What's up, guys? Happy Friday, August 7th, 2020. I'm Gun. Twitter.com/GundackerSports. If you're an OG of the channel, you're like, whoa, this is different. Facecam, what? Look at the beginning of the... I did a FanDuel Core 5 video. Look at the beginning of that. Kind of explains it. I don't want to have to be ultra repetitive and be a product of the Department of Redundancy Department. But if you're wondering why we're doing a little bit different stuff here, I did kind of explain a little bit in the beginning of the FanDuel video. Also, if you're playing on FanDuel and you're just kind of curious who I liked at first glance, you can go check out the FanDuel Core 5 video. It's that simple. But in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 players I'm liking early on DraftKings.com on the 5-game slate that might make my player pool and might even be core eligible players. We know NBA is a game of news and information changes almost by the hour, by the minute. So nothing here is set in stone. Everything is subject to change. If you had any questions about things that might change, maybe leave a comment or tweet at me, twitter.com/GundackerSports. But everything will be finalized in my player pool in the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet. You know all about the premium offerings we have, the spreadsheets, the 24/7 Discord, the pre-lock 2-hour voice chats. All that is behind the paywall, and the paywall is at RunDFS.com. So if you like what you hear, you maybe want to test it out, go try a week pass at RunDFS.com. And see what you think. So far, so good. A lot of people, at least this week alone, have really enjoyed their week. And a big, I would say over 90% of our premium community are all just repeat customers. They all are just satisfied with the community, satisfied with the research tools, and being able to kind of cross-reference their plays with my plays. So, not to toot my own horn, but anyway, let's talk about today's slate. Let's go open up a DraftKings entry thing. There is a $20 100K to first contest on DraftKings, so if that's something that tickles your fancy, go check that out. Otherwise, let's talk about 5 players I'm digging today. Now, I'm not some dude that's just going to come out here and throw you James Harden, Westbrook, Embiid. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give you the big boys. I like dumpster diving a little bit. So all the guys I'm going to talk about today, with a purpose, I'm going to try and keep under 8K. Because you guys don't need me to tell you Joel Embiid without Ben Simmons is probably a good play. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to kind of keep it under 8K. A lot of these guys are going to be even cheaper than that. Let's get cranked up. Guy number 1 that I'm going to talk about today, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I like this guy. First of all, because you put him in 4 spots: point guard, shooting guard, guard, util spot, right? Super versatile for you, those of you that are scripting. But he's getting a matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies. And I know in his recent game log, he hasn't really wowed us, right? But he has given us a high enough floor that I can keep going back to the well. Because at 6.8K, if he gave me another 36 fantasy point performance, I don't feel like he's the reason I didn't cash. Elevated reasons or extra reasons why I like him. Dennis Schroeder expected to continue to be out for this one, which means just more minutes and an opportunity for SGA just kind of baked in. And then a matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies is what? It's a pace-up spot, extra possessions, extra potential peripherals, because Alexander's not just a shooting guard. He'll go out there and get you your rebounds, assists, and steals. I love the steal. Look at the steals, 3, 2, 2. He's giving you some steals. In that fast-paced matchup, there's going to be plenty of pick 6 opportunities. So SGA, somebody I'm liking early on. Should this game stay competitive, if I get 35, 36 minutes of SGA, I trust him to be a little bit greater than a point per minute, and maybe give me a strong shot at 40 to 40 plus DraftKings points. So let's go ahead and plug him in. For now, we'll put him in a point guard spot. The next guy I want to talk about is Richaun Holmes. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more controversial because I do believe the center spot is stacked today. If you just look at the names we have here that are only center eligible, by the way: Joel Embiid, Nikola Vucevic, Jonas Valanciunas without Jaren Jackson, Thomas Bryant, who, spoiler alert, he's going to be the next guy I talk about. But Jared Allen, there's a lot of names here. Steven Adams is in a great spot. But I like Richaun Holmes. The heart wants what the heart wants. 4,900 as a 30-minute center against the Brooklyn Nets. I just can't look away. I can't. I know it's a back-to-back. And I know, his last couple games, he hasn't really popped off for what we kind of expected, but we know Richaun Holmes can get there. I expect more than 5 rebounds in a normal game. For the most part, he's been giving you a shot at being a point per minute. I talked about him in my FanDuel Core 5 video. I love that he's a power forward over there. But a couple of these games, 3 of these games to say the least, have been impacted by foul problems and blowouts. If you look at the game on the 31st against the Spurs, he did foul out in 24 minutes. If you look at the game on the 4th against the Mavericks, he fouled out in 25 minutes. The game against Orlando, a slow-paced, grindy matchup, he was on the wrong side of a blowout. And then the Pelicans, I probably would have been all in on him against the Pelicans in a fast-paced matchup, but he just didn't get there. I like him today at 4,900. This is just a matchup that keeps on giving. It is very rare to play 30 minutes at 4,900 against the Brooklyn Nets and not be serviceable, not hit value, so to speak. The Nets are giving up the most fantasy points per game in the league of any team in the bubble. So I like Richaun Holmes. Again, controversial. I get it because there's so many high raw point names in the center position. This may change. I wish he still had forward eligibility, but early on, I think Richaun Holmes definitely going to be somebody I'm digging. And then let's go talk about Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant, 7.2K. I trust him to be a 30-plus minute guy in a competitive game. He's going against the New Orleans Pelicans. If we look at that team stats tab in the RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet and sort it from fastest pace to slowest pace, we're going to find the Wizards as the second fastest team. The Pelicans are up there, fifth, top 5 in pace, right? So a track meet, right? Super fast, extra possessions to go around, and it's just a great spot for a guy like Thomas Bryant to continue his hot streak here. 40-plus fantasy points in the last 3 games. This is a team that no longer has Bradley Beal, no longer has Davis Bertans, no Isaiah Thomas. Like, it's Bryant as the guy that gets to go out there and audition for this team in their near future. So we're seeing it, and he's one of those centers that will go out there and get you those rebounds, but it also chucks some shots, and it's not just dunks. Look at these 3-point attempts, 5, 3, 6. He'll chuck from downtown, and you know you get that extra bonus against the or on DraftKings and against the Wizards, a very porous defense. I think it's a great opportunity for him to go out there and get 40, 50 fantasy points. So I like him. I mentioned it on my FanDuel video, but Nikola Vucevic with potentially out Aaron Gordon looks just fine. He's had a great recent history against Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid without Ben Simmons makes a lot of sense. So I definitely understand the case for those guys, but I'm kind of a guy that loves to go find the guys that are underpriced, the guys that should far exceed their price points. And I think Thomas Bryant just has a lot of meat left on the bone. So I like him. 2 other guys we're going to talk about. Hey, let's run back Thomas Bryant. Not run back. Let's handcuff Thomas Bryant to his teammate here, Troy Brown. You guys want to give him some Troy Brown? Troy Brown's interesting. You can run him at shooting guard, small forward, util. So you can run him in 5 spots. That'll really help out your optimizers. He's giving you 30-plus fantasy points in 3 straight games, and these are neutral pace matchups. I think Troy Brown is a stat stuffer. He's likely going to give you double-digit shot attempts on the low end, but his ability to go out there and get some rebounds and a couple peripherals, I love that a lot. So if he gets you 15 real points, he's likely going to get enough peripherals to pay off 30 fantasy points. And then you amplify all that by the fact that this is such a fast-paced game against the Pelicans. He should be able to push 30 again and maybe flirt with one of those 50 bombs. I know a lot of people might consider that 50 bomb a little on the fake side, but Troy Brown has done that before. We've seen it. So it's not a common range of outcome, but it's certainly a little closer to common than an outlier, giving the opportunity in front of him. So I do like me some Troy Brown Jr. And then lastly, this one's a tough one. I really, really, really wanted more centers, but I can only play 2 centers. I can't put one of these guys at the forward spot. So I'm kind of thinking about James Ennis, and I think this is the one that has the most potential to change. But hear me out. Small forward, power forward eligible. You can put him in 4 spots in your DraftKings lineups. He's $3,700. Aaron Gordon, doubtful. Jonathan Isaac went down for the Magic. He's kind of a cheaper version of a Troy Brown, right? He'll get you enough peripherals that if he gets 10 to 15 real points, maybe he surprises us with a 25, 30 fantasy point game. He's $3,700. So on a 6x to 8x scale, I usually ask a little bit more for my sub 4K guys, 8x. I think James Ennis getting that in this matchup against his former team, the Philadelphia 76ers, is a little bit more common for a couple of reasons. One, the 76ers defensively have not been super stout, and Ben Simmons is probably one of their best defenders, and him going down on a team that's already been surprisingly allowing a lot of points per game since the bubbles returned makes me think that there's a couple of reasons for James Ennis to continue to take double-digit shot attempts, right? Against Sacramento, against Toronto, you took double-digit shot attempts. Without Aaron Gordon, probably at least double-digit shot attempts are open. 9 shot attempts at 20 minutes, so you give him 30 minutes, he's probably taking another 15. 15 shot attempts since August 2nd. I think it makes a lot of sense for the shot volume to be there, and I think enough peripherals will be there that under 4K, I could see 25 fantasy points on the low end should he be the main benefactor. Other guys that should benefit minute-wise in the absence of Aaron Gordon, Wes Iwundu, who we don't really look at to score a lot of points, maybe Kem Birch, guys like that. So I think James Ennis kind of profiles early on as my favorite look as immediate fantasy beneficiary without Aaron Gordon. I know Evan Fournier's usage will get a nice tick. I do think him versus Josh Richardson's a tougher matchup. I've definitely liked what I've seen in Vucevic's game log against Ben Simmons. But I just think 3,700 for James Ennis and how versatile he is in lineup construction. I just think I'm going to land on a lot of Ennis early on, unless we get news that Ennis isn't the starter, or maybe a quote that says they're going to give those minutes to somebody else specifically. It just seems like Ennis has a shot at 30 plus minutes, maybe 33 minutes without Isaac, without Aaron Gordon. So I'm digging him early on. So those are the 5 names I've come up with after my first look. SGA, Troy Brown Jr., James Ennis III, Richaun Holmes, and Thomas Bryant. Look out for a potential NBA live stream tomorrow afternoon. I don't have a specific time set just yet. We'll try and kind of put my ear to the ground, kind of see what's a good window compared to all of the competition that's out there. So I don't want to compete with anybody. So we'll try and get a live stream out there. Otherwise, I'm always accessible in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. Just tag me. Usually a pretty quick response time, or you can DM me on Twitter, twitter.com/GundackerSports. I would love to hear your thoughts on this slate, who you're liking early on. Do you disagree with somebody that I've mentioned? Let me know in the comments below. I said it on the FanDuel video, but right now I'm trying to shake the channel back up to get back to the forefront of the YouTube algorithm. So interaction with the channel, thumbs up, comments, sharing the video on Twitter. Go to my Twitter, retweet the tweet. That really helps me out a lot more than you might think. I appreciate you guys sticking around for the video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, FanDuel NBA content up, and look for some baseball content coming soon for the Big Friday slate. I love each and every one of you. I hope you win a bunch of money. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money. And drink Bang.